Today is March 7th, 2023. The video you just saw is myself, Richard William Flores, trying to defecate in the bathroom here at the BRC facility located on 47th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenues at the YMCA Vanderbilt. Now, it seems a little bit dramatic to watch, but it's not. I'm trying to portray it in a way that shows that I'm lucid and I'm not simply just a person who knows how to use a smartphone, meaning you just press on the camera and you just film whatever you want. What I have taken into my mind is that what's shown as being transparent, whether it's in the news or whether it's the police when they use their own filming, is not transparent. Something will happen and they'll say, yeah, something happened, but whether you have legal recourse or whether you don't have any legal recourse is another story. So being a little bit more creative with whatever is being viewed may help. Some people will say it's mentally ill. It's not mentally ill. That's part of the conspiracy that's being used to make people sick and hurt people. That's being done by the government and all the other agendas, whether it's, I don't know, a woke agenda or LGBTQR agenda. These people are ridiculous. What you think is, or what's thought of as being normal, meaning sleeping, eating, walking, talking, dressing yourself, brushing your teeth, has actually been misconstrued by other people as being mentally ill, being hygienic, what have you. So myself trying to defecate is being used as a form of weaponry. They're saying that you can't defecate, you can't eat, and if you try to eat and if you try to defecate, we're going to use that against you. And they'll use any reason as transgender people, as I actually hear them say over and over again, that they think they have a right to do it. These are people that if you looked at a color and you said it was red, right? Would you think this is red? They'll say no, it's yellow, for example. So there's no talking to them, in other words. They think that they can do what they want, they have an objective, and there's no objective and they can't do whatever they want. And so the video is trying to portray that. Secondly, the reason why I have the picture of Winona Ryder is because, again, uh, they continue to use her likeness as a form of assault on autonomy of any kind, an assault on the mind and even the body. Uh, I've never spoken to this person, so I have no idea what this person's stance is on this agenda. I don't know if she's dead or alive, despite this Stranger Things TV show and supposedly her being in New York last year. So I have no idea. All I know is if she knows about what's happening, she hasn't done anything about it. So she must be on the side of the people who are doing this, the people hurting people and using her likeness. She must be. So she would be on the wrong side of the transgender agenda. Secondly, Adelia Benasia. She was a person whom I had a relationship between the age of 16 and 20, who supposedly lives in Florida, Jupiter, Florida, since the 1990s, according to her bio on the internet on Google. This is a long-standing issue since I've known her apparently until now. and they continue to use her also as a threat against my autonomy or my life. Um, there's an AI voice in the air that says that she testified against me. They use the AI voice when I look at her videos, and they say that I raped her. I've never raped her. They say I stole from her. I've never stolen from her. As any of you who would watch this know, language rape and theft, stole, has been co opted. The word perv has been co opted. And the phony transgenders and LGBTQRs, including the police and certain factions in the government, are using this language to punish people like myself. And there's a whole long issue regarding this, regarding my gender and supposedly their gender ideology and so forth. The truth of the matter is, um, whatever has happened between her and I is entangled in some kind of legal ramifications, which when I was young, I had no knowledge of. And now, as an adult, that information is being kept from me. Um, I tried to take legal recourse, and I've gotten no response. The lawyers and people that I've spoken to, they don't want to reveal whatever the file, says. There's a file somewhere, in the state of New York, and they don't want to reveal this information. So the bad people, like the people here, and the other people continue to use that against me. It's as simple as that. When I upload pictures of the other people I have relationships with, including my ex-wife, it seems that the same mentality is being used, and it seems to be being construed with my family history as well. And all of that information has been withheld from me. Um, on a personal note, um, the authorities and the people involved are basically using a strategic way of saying, that ignorance, which is what the transgenders are trying to do with their ideology and taking over and affecting people's lives, that they're trying to use and say that ignorance is or not knowing is somehow facilitated in order for them to hurt people. And that's from the Biden administration to every municipality in the entire country. Lastly, um, I've been here for a year and 3 months. As I've uploaded many times, as I've testified at City Hall, made complaints to the NYPD, CCRB, Coalition for the Homeless, several hospitals, Mount Sinai, Presbyterian, Jamaican Hospital, Zucker Hill, New York Hospital, Flushing, most notably since I've been homeless. And now here at the BRC for a year and 3 months, they've hurt my entire body. They tried to break my ribs, my waist, my spine, my arms, my hands, my legs, my entire body. Got injury to my skull, to my eyes, to my mouth. And they continue to say they want to steal the disability money that I'm receiving from the government. They say they're doing it because they're black. They say they're doing it because I'm a male. They say they're doing it because I'm intelligent. This is the supposed mentality of the people, the transgender movement, that I hope are killed in forms of genocide because they need to be murdered. And if no one likes what I'm saying, you can all go screw yourselves. Okay? They need to be murdered. They're insane. They're insane. These people are not sane. So using a word like genocide or killing should not be used or by the authorities or anyone else as some sort of threat, because it's not a threat. The people who are attacking transgender people, they're the threat. And they're trying to use the fact that they made me homeless to say that he's mentally ill, he's criminally ill because he's a heterosexual or etc. and they're trying to use it and facilitate it in that way. That's what's going on. I'll defy any authority person and I'll win. I've done that already, and the police run away. Okay, and they sneak in, including the mayor Eric Adams, the governor Hochul, the police brass, as they have for the last 8 years, wherever I've been on the street or here at the BRC or on the subway, when I was at home living with my parents, all the matters that they've done to attack my autonomy, they have come and physically hurt me, mentally and physically, in any way they can. Now, most notably, there is I believe, a Black Caribbean transgender person here who appears to be a male. I'm not sure if he was a female or what, or a male, and has some sort of disease or something that happened to him. He has swollen limbs. His hands are extremely swollen, um, and they use him to rape people. He's raped me. The guards open up the door with the key card, and several of them, and in my if I'm sleeping, they just come and they attack me, and they use his sperm and they use his fecal matter to make me sick, and then they try to make believe that I would be sick, right, if something happens. I can feel the effects of the sperm and the fecal matter has affected my limbs and my movement. It's done to attack the nervous system, to attack the entire body. I've had pains in my heart, pains in different parts of my body. It affects my speech, my eyesight, my muscular movements. And this person is visibly sick. This person is supposed to be in a hospital. They're not supposed to be somewhere where they can infect other people. These facilities are used to spread viruses and infection, whether it's the government or whether it's the police or both. The people that work here are complete idiots. Some of them are criminals. They call themselves volunteers. They basically act like people who work here who are mentally and criminally ill. That's regardless of whatever lie they say about training on television or what have you. They're very violent, passive aggressive, and they're taught to be that way here. Just as many people are dangerous to be around outside of other civilians or what have you. And in here, they use it as an excuse if you get into an argument or something with them. They try to throw you out once they've hurt you. And so that all of that information can be used against um, Adams' administration and Hochul. Uh, Adams and Hochul, they're crooks. They'll deny it. They've been in this room. They sneak in this room, and they have attacked me physically and mentally. And what else can I say? For those of you who watch it who think that because you're black, that somehow it has no bearing, it's ridiculous. Who's the majority of people who are being, say, killed on the crime that's occurring in cities like New York and other cities? Black people. And they say every single day, they say they hate me because of my skin color. They hate me because of my ethnicity, my nationality. They hate me because I have disability money. They hate me because I worked, before, I've been working since 1985 in different industries, finance and administrative, all different types of offices. They hate the fact that I actually worked, and they lie and say that I didn't work. I've worked in so many companies that I've listed. It's absurd, and of course they act like they don't care. So if they don't care, why are they trying to steal disability money? The reason why is because if it was SSI, for instance, they would try to steal that. If it was Social Security, they would try to steal that. If I was still working, I'm 57, so if what was done to me hadn't been done, I still would be working right now. Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't, because the virus affected that. Many people were, thrown out of work, and many people have died because of the virus. So I have no way of knowing what would have happened if I hadn't been affected this way. My last job was again for a company called Vantage Realty, as I testified at City Hall, and this was a big lawsuit here in New York City. Um, Former Mayor De Blasio received money campaign funds from this particular company. So, from my understanding, there's a lot of corruption going on, and unfortunately, I was unduly affected by that, and I received no money other than the salary that I was paid and the unemployment money which was given to me, which was all taken away from me because of what happened. I had several thousands of dollars, and I literally had to spend it uh, uh, from 2009 going forwards to have a place to live, and that's where all the money went. And it was done on purpose when I was living on my own, and it was done to my family when I was living with my family, and we were dealing with people breaking in, which everyone knows is now common knowledge. Uh, Most recently in the news at the Hilton Hotel, they said they let strangers in to molest and rape. They say women at the hotels. It's a fact that they'll rape anyone, male or female. But right now, the media is portraying it as being attack on women, which is I believe it's uh, co-opted by the media. You know, they don't want to say that different types of people are being raped and killed and what have you. But everyone knows it's happening. Happens to whole families as well. So they are doing that. And when I worked for Vantage, I helped them win a lawsuit. You know, it was another form of gentrification that I didn't know about back in 2000. Pardon me, in 2008. And I didn't know that this was happening. I didn't know I was hired for this strategy that was being used by this company and what was being done here in the city of New York. And that's never ever been explained to me in a court of law in order for me to seek damages. Financial damages is being used against me to this very day. So, lastly, again, I want to say, so they are using here the homeless people who live here. They are using their sperm and their fecal matter to make people sick, and that's in conjunction with the COVID-19 virus. Right now, I am very afraid for my health. The food is contaminated in most of the areas where you go to eat, supermarkets or restaurants. There's some form of contamination, whether it's COVID-19 or whether it's them using fecal matter or sperm. The BRC is directly involved with it with the NYPD and I guess the Department of Health and the FDA and the CDC. I know this is kind of thing is going on all over the country, all over the world, and all of my efforts that I've tried to stop this from happening to myself or anyone else has a wind up being a dead end. And when they can't use the money against you, they'll try any other retaliatory method, whether it's using AI, you know, cloning in the air to disrupt your thinking, or uploading a video like this onto the internet, reading a book, or what have you. And this is being done to kill people, targeted people. I know it's happening to people across the spectrum, young and old, whether they have a lot of money, whether they, you know, are working, whether they're like myself, what's happened to me. So those biases that are being used by the transgender population, the LGBTQR population, to kill people and make them sick. As I said, this person, I mean, um, looks very ill to any, you know, normal person. They're using his sperm and fecal matter for the most obvious and ridiculous reasons. They say that they're jealous. You know, if you can walk normally, they're jealous if you can speak normally. And these people are clearly mentally ill and physically ill. and they use their fecal matter and their sperm to affect and make people ill any way they can. He has huge swollen hands, and his feet are swollen. And I don't know what happened to this person. I have heard him screaming at the guards downstairs when he feels that he's been mistreated, and the guards are instructed, and the volunteers are instructed to retaliate by either hurting him when no one can, that no one can see, or by using him to rape people like me. I've seen this individual on the street, uh, and I've not taken any physical retribution against him. I believe it's both. I believe it's the staff security and what's being done to him externally, and I believe he has some sort of motivation as well. And when I see him on the street, he doesn't say anything, but his body language and some of the things that he said uh, has showed me that he's not in completely control to facilitate his behavior, which would mean that he's either mentally ill or they've done something to him and now he's ill. Otherwise, I would take physical action against him to protect myself. And all the people here are like that. They do that here constantly. Um, when I was living on the street in the subway, the volunteers here, I found, by listening to their banter, uh, talking amongst one another, that their agenda was to kill and make people sick here. The police brass, whoever they, all the people at that time, 8 years ago, also would say, don't stay at these shelters because they're dangerous and this is what they're doing. The Coalition for the Homeless, we had meetings on every Tuesday for shelter and conditions. They didn't call it a facility. And all of the residents who lived in different shelters at the time would be complaining about how they were being treated. When I went to Bellevue Hospital, I was attacked there for a few nights. And after that, the security guards wanted to take all of my bags. And so I declined. And so I stayed on the street and they stole my bags. As all the crime that has happened, everyone knows that it's happened to many people. So they use all of these methods to do this to people, and they're still uh, acting and behaving as if they're not doing this. The governor had detectives coming here in August of last year. They had an investigation, and they completely lied. I believe they were transgender cops. So they lied about everything. They said nothing was happening, and they came back here and they raped me too. Also, I have their cards, I have their names, etc. And they just won't let me prove it. They want you to project, they want you to get angry, and if you hit someone or there's an infraction, there's a possibility that you could be held legally accountable for it, or at the very least, you'd be homeless on the street. In the subways and the buses, you get attacked, for being there because the transgender people are very violent, and that's it. They like to attack people. They'll use any excuse. Doesn't matter whether you're living in your own apartment or your own home or in a hotel, in a motel, in a shelter, in a facility. The rape and the contamination is going on everywhere. Everywhere. Okay. And since this started when I was living with my family. Pardon me, it started when I was living on my own, and I know that it has to do with having and knowing the people that I knew from before, and because these people concealed their gender identity, they concealed the fact that they were, uh, uh, I guess, breaking the law. They kept these things from me, and things just got worse and worse and worse. And as they did more things to me, to I guess try to say as if I'd broken the law, which I didn't. Things just kept happening, and that's what has led to how I'm living here today. And I'm sure that many other people are being affected by that and have been. I spoke to Councilwoman Linda Lee of the 23rd District in Queens, and we're supposed to have a meeting. I spoke to Ruth Lowenkron, who's part of a legal firm here in New York, at City Hall, and she also returned my call so far. I haven't heard from them. We've had several communications. My phone is hacked into by the BRC and by the authorities, so I don't know if they delete the phone calls. I don't know if they delete the messages, so that way I can't get back to them. Last Friday, I went to the Medicare office in Queens, um, in the Queens Plaza area. I was told I have Medicare. Again, they break and they steal my glasses, and I was trying to get another pair. I'm always in fear they're gonna break the glasses again or steal the glasses again. As I said, they're mentally ill. They get angry because you want to see. I have myopic vision. They've made my vision myopic for years, even before I knew why. And then I finally found out around 2009, somewhere around there, or 2010, I found out that there was an agenda, to make me sick, and they wanted my vision to be impaired. So every time I bought glasses, either with my own money, $700 of my own money, unemployment money, or getting them through insurance, all the glasses have been broken and stolen from me. On the subway, living inside my family's home, on the street, you name it. Or they'll switch the lenses, or they'll break the frame, or whatever, or they'll just steal the glasses altogether. So I went to the office, and through the Medicare program, there was a third-party company, which I believe is in Florida, and the other office is in Kentucky. I know that they have laws that these people, if they try to steal from your bank account, there's some kind of laws that protect them. So I've refrained from using the cards, and the police are aware of it, and the people here are aware of it. It's all a scam they have to steal disability or steal whatever money you might have. The Medicare office, though, which is a government agency, I spoke to a representative, and the representative told me that most of Part Cs are always covered with third-party companies. That's a lie. What's going on is that if you don't want to pay you can't pay for Part C, then you don't have Part C. Welfare, I know, always covered it. When I had regular welfare, it was covered. That's how I got my other glasses. I didn't have to pay. Welfare also covers dental and vision. So when I received a disability, they took away the welfare, and that's it. So now it's not covered. And I believe that they try to steal it from the disability. They don't care, they've broken all these other matters that are considered crime. They don't consider, even though they know they don't do anything. So they just want to steal money, and then they say that you can't see. So they both the last pair of glasses I had for over a year, 2 years or 3 years, something like that, I believe. No, a long time, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21. So I had them for like 4 years. And when I came back to New York from California, I was homeless again, and I was attacked on Korea Way. I believe I may have passed out, and I was attacked, and they stole the glasses. The police don't do anything. If you file a report, they don't help you do anything. You're supposed to be reimbursed. They've stolen over $100,000 from me. Um, if I could only get a good lawyer or someone that can help me prove it, I'm pretty sure I would be able to be reimbursed. The Adams administration, the Hochul administration, is supposed to take this seriously, and not say that their attitude towards the homeless has anything to do with religion. No one cares whether he's religious or not. No one cares. It's a phony strategy they're using as ideology. They're supposed to protect all people, not some people, but all people. They're not supposed to try to lie and say that because you're homeless or they did things to you that there's a way of dealing with the law. That's a bunch of malarkey. When I spent $700 on my Ray-Ban frames at Macy's, I was living with my family. And then when I became aware that there was violence going on in the home, I was afraid that they were going to break my glasses. The police and the authorities, the people who were using the cloning device, I guess, in the air, kept saying they were going to break the glasses. People in the street said they were going to break the glasses. They were going to steal the glasses from me. People, strangers, complete strangers, after I paid for the glasses. And so I had them for a while. And one night I was going to go to sleep. I had a strong case for them. I had a hard shell case. I put them in the case. I put it behind my pillow. Okay, and the case was very hard. So even if I rested my head on the with the pillow, okay, the pillow has a lot of room. Nothing would happen to the case. Uh, Nothing would happen to the glasses. Well, one night I put it behind me, went to sleep, and when they came into the room to rape me, whoever it was, I'm not sure who, came in the room and they broke the glasses. They dented the frames, scratched the lenses. So it has nothing to do with being here. This has been going on. That was 2010. Now it's 2023. And that's it. Many of my belongings and personal items have been stolen and broken and what have you. The glass is just one other thing that they're doing to abuse and harass and make people seem as if they're ill. Okay, so I'm going to try to upload the video, and I hope it's not deleted by the phony BRC staff here or the police, because I will use this video in a court of law.